مرحبا everyone, welcome again. سيكون هذا الدرس مهما جدا اليوم. This lesson is going to be very important today. This is what I said. And why is that? Because today we're going to talk together about long sounds in Arabic.
Arabic Sahel.
E. But Diala, aren't these fatha, dhamma, and kasra that we talked about before in lesson 1? Well, let me tell you a short story. Remember fatha, which had the sound a? It ate well, took care of itself, and it's a grown-up now. So it became alif. And unlike fatha, which had a low voice because it was small, now alif has a long one because it's a grown-up. So it sounds dhamma, which had the sound u, became waw, which has the sound u. Kasra, which has the sound I, is now a grown-up and became ya, which has the sound e. And remember, ya has this shape of your mouth that you do while pronouncing it. A smile. So, if you forgot how to write ya, just remember that the sound e resembles the smile you make, so you do this shape. And sukoon, which had no sound, is now a grown-up and has a very soft sound, which is so it became ha. Okay, very well. So now let's learn the shapes of vowels in Arabic. Let's ignore ha because ha is not a vowel, it's a letter. So we're going to study it then in the coming videos. But for now, let's study alif, waw, and ya. Alif and waw has the sound a and u. Refuse to connect to the letter following them. They only accept connecting to the letter preceding them. That rings some bells. Yeah, they are like darats. But I've never mentioned them with darats, dal, dal, ra, and zay, because these letters are considered vowels. Although they act like letters sometimes, and we're going to discuss that later on, they are vowels. So overall, these are the only 6 letters that refuse to connect to the letter following them and only accept connecting to the letter preceding them. Let's see ya. Ya acts like ba, ta, tha, and noon, and it has these shapes. So when you see this shape, or this shape, or this shape, this is ya and sounds e. Okay, so let's recap. Alif, which sounds a, has this shape when connected to the letter preceding it, like the word dana, and has this shape when it stands alone, like the word dara, dara. Waw, which sounds oo, has this shape when connecting to the letter preceding it, like in the word nur, and has this shape while standing alone, as in the word badu, badu. Okay, so ya has this shape when it is in the middle of the word, like in the word teen, teen, and has this shape when connecting to the letter preceding it at the end, like in the word fi, fi, and this shape when standing alone, like in the word thari, thari. Very well. So now let's combine the letters we've taken so far with short and long sounds to distinguish between them.
ba, b, bu, bi, ba, بو بي ني نو ن ن نو ني نا ت ت تي تو تي تا تو في ث ثو في ثو ثا د دو د دي دا دو دي ري را رو ر رو ري را زو ز زي ز زي زا زو ذي ذا ذو ذ ذو ذي ذا ع ع عو عي عا عي عو غو غ غ غي غي غا غو س سي سو سا سو سي شي شو شا ش شو شي شا.
Okay, guys, so what's tricky about reading Arabic fluently is that you might be confused by reading short sounds and long sounds when they are combined together in the same word. So let's discuss this together. But before we do that, remember, you have to memorize these rules very well because they will help you a lot in reading Arabic correctly and fluently. Okay, let's go. First of all, if you have a letter having a short sound above it and is followed by another letter that has also a short sound, you have to pronounce them as if you're skipping between them. For example, if I have si and bu, if you combine them together, they become sibu. Sibu. See? It's very short. Now, if you have a letter having a short vowel above it and it's followed by another letter having a long vowel, you have to give the long vowel enough space to express itself. And that means if you have tu and na, we pronounce it like tuna. Tuna. See, I gave noon enough space to express itself. And we have thus the sound tuna. Now, let's combine them together. So we have tuna and sibu. It becomes tuna sibu. Tuna sibu. Tuna sibu. And tuna sibu means it suits. Okay. Another rule. If you have a letter having a short vowel, a, u, I, and followed by another letter having sukun on it, you have to remember that we have to pronounce them directly together. So we don't say r and r separately. We combine them together and they become gharr, like in the word gharbu. And I know you guys that you're going to surely pronounce them separately at first, but by practice, you have to combine them together and read them as I do. Okay, guys, I bet you're improving a lot during these videos. I'm so glad you've reached this level so far. Remember to keep on watching these videos, solving the worksheets, practicing and practicing and practicing, because practice makes perfect, and you will get better and better, and thus you will reach the best result as you end this course. Remember to leave me comments about your journey with me during this course. I'll see you in the next video and good luck. إلى اللقاء.
Arabic Sahel.